Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about Naryu Sanctum. It's going to be a guide, step-by-step guide on how to do Naryu Sanctum. That's what most of you guys have been asking for. So let's begin. First of all, you come through the portal and you will see this. The moment you jump down, it will activate all those guards around. You see these guards over here? It's going to activate all of these guards and you're going to have to kill them. And as you come down here, once you touch the ground, there's this red thing that will, the eyes of Xanos wake the sleeping guards. This thing will come up and all these guards will be activated. So now we see them, boom. They come to life and you just kill them. They're not difficult to kill. Just circle around them and keep shooting and they'll die. And you kill them all. It's best to group them all in a corner. That way you can use an AoE attack such as your Tombstone F. And you could just kill all of them and just like boom, 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 boom. Okay, once they're all dead, we move along. And you go down here to the crossing corridors open. So once this is open, you can run down. So once we run down here, there are two guards on the left and the right. If you jump at this line where my mouse is, and you can avoid aggroing the two. Or you can just aggro them and kill them. It doesn't really matter. So come here again. It's just 4 archers. And if you aggro the 2 archers over there, as you can see they're shooting at genuine, then you gotta kill 6 archers. So you just go boom, 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 and we kill all 6 people. So over here, this is the first boss, the Titan. There are 2 roles for this boss. The first role is the Farmark, or the person that handles all the hammers. And the second role is the person that lines up the mobs, okay? So there are no mechanics until 70% and 30%, where you actually have to do 2 things. So at 70%, it will say that the Titan is going to use Fury Punch. So when he does this, once you see this text come out, and there will be a bell sound if you have in-game sound turned on, it'll be like dwang. Once that happens, just make sure everyone groups together so that when he does his Fury Punch, he doesn't kill anyone. Whoever gets hit by 5 Fury Punches will instantly die. So just make sure you group together so you distribute the punches between your party. He will do that twice. The first time he'll do it, it'll be to all the closest targets, and the second time he does it, he'll do it to the furthest target, and this is all at 70%. Right after he finishes the Fury Punches, he will jump to the middle. When he gets to the middle, he will then start throwing hammers at the furthest target. He will also spawn 4 adds. These 4 adds, you guys need to line up in a line so that they do a chain explosion, they self-destruct, and blow up in front of the Titan so that it takes away his shield buff. So anyway, I'll play the video so that you guys can see, and I'll pause it at the moment when mechanics actually start. So what I usually do is I usually put a marker on myself. So I'd put a skull, and I put a marker on the person who is going to attack the adds. And we're just doing some buffs, and here we go, let's start. So at the beginning, there's no real mechanics, it's just shooting, pew, 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 and you just want to make sure that whoever has aggro holds the boss in one place. It doesn't have to be in the middle, but just make sure that the boss is, stays in one place so that you can just DPS away. Okay, so you can see here the boss is about to hit 70%. And once he hits 70% over here, you can see here, the Granite Titan delivers Fury Punch. So this is the part where we have to get close together. He's going to punch the closest targets first. And here's the punches. You can see that he charges up this animation and he's going to punch now. So you see, the moment he punches someone, it'll daze them. Or knocks them down, I don't know. Whatever. So he'll punch targets, punch, 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 punch. And then he'll throw a hammer. So you can see here now it says the Naryu guards are created. And you can see that there are 4 adds. There's 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 over there. Or on the mini-map, it'll be the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock positions. So what you want to do as Farmark is you want to wait to see which add he picks up and which direction he faces. So you can see here, he picks up the 12 o'clock position, or this guy over here, and he's gonna face this direction. So as the Farmark, you want to get behind him, behind the boss, and be the furthest target. So he throws hammers at you and not at your team, which is trying to line up the adds over here. So you can see here that I start moving away from the party. And the moment he throws that, the ad will land on the ground like this. So what you want to do is you want to line up the ads so when this one explodes, it hits the second ad. And then the second ad will blow up, hit the third ad. The third one will blow up and hit the fourth ad. And the fourth ad will blow up and destroy the boss's self-defense shield over here so that he can take damage again. During this phase, the boss is immune to all damage because he has this buff. So as Farmark, I just want to keep the boss's aggro. I want to keep the boss throwing hammers at me as I am the furthest target while my team lines up the ads. So you can see here that Kogan has hit one ad. When you hit the ad to about like half HP or something, they will just fall down on the ground like this and they'll be stunned. And they'll create this red circle around them. What you want to do is just line up the red circle so that they blow up and do a chain explosion to blow off this guy's shield. So we'll see here. So you can see here that there are a bunch of circles, right? So there's the furthest target over there. There's one over here that's in the middle, and then there's two right next to the boss. This is not ideal because we failed this part, mainly because the middle soldier was too far away from the furthest soldier, so that when this one exploded, it didn't touch this soldier in the middle, so he doesn't explode, which in turn doesn't explode the other two and doesn't take away his self-defense buff. So you can see here, after he throws several hammers, he will use his powerful attack and hit the furthest soldier over there. Once he hits the furthest soldier, this will self-destruct. What you want him to do is to explode onto the second soldier, which in turn will cause a chain explosion. So you can see at this mechanic we failed over here, and he still has his self-defense shield for 37 seconds. Luckily we're playing on normal mode, so in normal mode this self-defense buff will not last for 34 seconds. It will disappear after he unleashes his devastating attack. Just make sure that you use a party iframe or a self iframe to dodge his devastating attack, because this does do a lot of damage. So once he finishes his attack, you can hurt him again. However, the ads that didn't blow up will start running around and randomly attacking people. You can just quickly take them out so that they don't cause any chaos. Okay, so once they're down, there's no mechanic until the boss hits 30%. So all you have to do is just DPS, DPS, DPS. Okay, so the boss is about to hit 30% HP now, and you will see. At 30%, again, he will say he's delivering Fury Punch. So again, everyone group up close together, and he will do 2 rotations. First rotation hitting the closest target, second rotation hitting the furthest target. So everyone just group together, and he'll just punch random people around here. See, like that. And he'll do it once more, as he's doing it here. And right after he finishes that, he will throw a hammer. You can see there, he's going to throw a hammer over in this direction. Just make sure that you dodge that. And then right after that, he will jump to the middle and he will spawn guards again. So once he's in the middle, again, since I'm Farmark, I want to get as far away as possible. And I can see that he's throwing he's picking up this minion and he's going to throw it there where the fire is. So I want to stay in my half of the circle, which my teammates won't be. That way he throws the guy over there, and you see he creates the circle. I'm keeping aggro because by being furthest target, he'll continue throwing hammers at me while I run around in this half of the circle as they're trying to line up the minions. So over here, I just hold down my D key to dodge all those, and we can see that they're lining up the circles. So we see here that he readies up his powerful attack. He's going to zap the furthest target, and they're going to blow up all the guards. You can see that guard is charging up to blow up. Boom, he hits the second guard within that explosion. So second guard's charging up to explode. Boom, he hits the third guard. Boom, he hits the fourth guard, and it hits the golem. So now it'll say that the Titan's defenses are vulnerable. So this is the part where you want to burst as much damage as you can and just, use all your burst attacks to do a ton of DPS as the boss can't really do anything. And you just DPS him down and he'll die. Again, he will always do the devastating attack right after the 70% mechanic and the 30% mechanic. So just make sure that you use your iframe or party iframe. And then just DPS, and he will die. And that's it for the first boss. It's quite simple, very straightforward. Once he's dead, let's move on to the next boss. So once we come through the portal over here, there's going to be all these little minions around, these Augerites. So what you want to do is group them all together, and then just AoE them down. So group them all together, they'll crash into each other and stun themselves. And you just circle tank them. Just run around them while shooting with AoE attacks and they will die. Okay, once they're dead, the next mini boss is this guy over here, which does a lot of shockwaves, which you have to jump over, which is quite annoying. Alright, so for this boss, it's quite simple. It's a DPS race to kill him before these guys get up to heal him. And it's all about timing your jumps to dodge his shockwaves. You can also iframe through the shockwaves if you want. However, I find that jumping is slightly better because you can jump while DPSing and there's no cooldown for jumping. So you can see here, you just DPS. When his CC bars open here, you can stun him or you don't have to just, make life for your melee classes slightly easier. It's really up to you. If you have a Blade Dancer, it's in your best interest to stun or knock down, so that your Blade Dancer can pick him up and you can use your extra skill, which deals a buttload of damage. At around 80% or so, he will create waves of power ripples. You need to jump over this. So you see this white circle that happens the moment he lands? You have to jump over it in order to avoid being knocked back. So when he was at 80%, the first one he'll only do it once. However, later on he will do 5 in a row. So now it's saying that he unleashes a shockwave. This is the part where you have to jump 5 times, as I will show you here. This is the first jump, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the main reason why I could dodge all of them was because I've played Sanctum so many times already that I can get into a rhythm. The moment I see the text and I hear the sound, I know when to jump. I just have like an internal thing in my brain that tells me to jump. Normally, you will be able to see the shockwaves. In this footage, I don't know what happened, but the shockwaves were invisible. So again, you just keep DPSing. Now, as you can see again, he's going to unleash shockwaves. There are times if the tank is too far away, he will just keep spamming this skill. So you guys have to be really good at jumping or just have a lot of iframes. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I messed up on... The problem with this is the moment you mess up the first one, or if you mess up any jump in that rotation, the other power ripples are going to hit you. So make sure that you dodge all of them. If you can't, then just use an iframe. It also says here the giant Naryu Augerite absorbs HP from his underlings. That's from these little guys. These little guys will randomly get up occasionally depending on his HP and shoot HP balls into him and basically heal him. So the way to stop these guys from healing the boss is by CCing them. These guys have 2 CC bars, so you can either use a stun, a knockdown, a daze. You can use any form of CC to just make sure that they don't heal him. You can see here that he's charging up, and that little ball. He shoots that little ball of life, and you will see that his HP will heal from 6 million to 7 million. And the moment he heals, he will use Shockwave again. So jump 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 5th one is always slightly delayed, so you want to delay your jump on the 5th one by about 0.2 seconds. Or something like that. You need to delay it by a little bit. And you continue DPSing. So you can see here that there's the Augerite over here, and I'm about to stun him to stop him from healing. The moment you stun him, he'll just fall down, but we killed the boss already, so it doesn't matter. So let's move on. So over here, you don't want to run. You want to walk because you need your stamina to do the pillar run. So you want to save all your stamina over here, and then you want to run up this pillar. You'll see you run up this pillar, and then you want to float to this pillar over there. Float over and continue dashing up. Dash to about here, and then you can fly off. And that's a shortcut, so that it saves time instead of having you to run the entire length of the tree. And we're here onto the second boss. The second boss over here has two mechanics. The most important mechanic is the farm arc, which again is going to be me. He does chain lightning at 70% and at 30%. So when he does chain lightning, he will shoot these AoE attacks at you first. He'll shoot 2 of them, and then he'll do chain lightning. What you want to do as farm arc is make sure that he chain lightnings you and that the lightning bounces off your body onto these little circles. There will be little spears over here that will spawn at 70% and at 30%, and you want the chain lightning to bounce off you onto these spears. Then you or anyone in the party can pick up these spears and throw it at the boss, and it deals 3 million damage per spear. The second role in this is the tank or the close mark. The tank wants to make sure that after the boss does 3 rotations of chain lightning, that he will do a charge attack. And when he does the charge attack, the tank or anyone close has to make sure to block it to make sure that all the spears that are thrown onto the boss will explode and deal extra damage. So it's pretty straightforward in the beginning. You just want to just DPS until he hits 70%. So at 70%, he will jump into the middle like what he's doing now. The moment he jumps into the middle, he's going to target the furthest target and shoot 2 AoE attacks. So you can see that he's shooting a huge AoE attack on me. That's attack number 1. And he's going to shoot it once more. That's attack number 2. So next thing it's going to say that he uses chain lightning. So he's going to hit the furthest target. Make sure that it's you if you're the farm arc. And if you're not the farm arc, make sure that you're closer to the boss so that the farm arc can do his job. So what you want to do as farm arc is make sure you're standing close to these spears so that the chain lightning bounces off you and hits the spear. So you can see here, it's going to hit me with chain lightning and it bounces to these spears. So now it will bounce off you and hit 4 spears. So just make sure that after you do it, you pick up the spear and throw it at him. Right after he finishes doing chain lightning, the next thing he's going to do is to jump straight onto you, or jump straight onto the furthest target. So make sure that you're ready for that and that you either throw a spear at him and then iframe, or you can just run away from him and let your team throw the spears at him. In my case, I just run away because I have high ping and I'm not confident in my ability to iframe in time. So what I usually do is I pick up the furthest spears and then I throw them at him. Like that and like that. So he does 2 AoE attacks on me, and now he does chain lightning right after. So luckily I did the slingshot in time, and again it hits 4 spears. Then he's going to jump on me again. Then I pick up spears and I throw them at him again. And I pick up the next spear. I throw this at him again. So he's going to shoot AoE attacks and then chain lightning on me once more. But because Genuine, he went further than me to pick up that spear when he was casting chain lightning. It hit him instead and not me. So we lose 1 set of 4 spears, which is quite a bit of damage actually. It's 12 million damage. And now, since that was 3 rotations of chain lightning, he's going to do his charge now. So he's going to charge now, and immediately our tank blocked, and it says 7 lightning conductors exploded, which deals a bunch of damage. And now he's stunned, and we can continue DPSing. He will do this big AoE attack occasionally. Just make sure that you do iframe it, because it does hurt a lot. Then you just DPS until 30%, and he'll jump into the middle and redo the entire mechanic again. So you can see, the moment he hit 30%, he just jumps straight into the middle. And then the next thing he's going to do is shoot 2 AoE attacks. That's number 1 AoE attack over there. And that's number 2 AoE attack over there. Now he's going to chain lightning the furthest target, which just so happens to be me, because I slang shot over there in time. And you can see the lightning hits me, and it's going to hit the rods over here, or the spears. So it's going to hit 4 spears. So again, as far target, I want to pick up the spears, throw them at him, deal some damage, and dodge the AoE attacks. So I have the spear here, but I know that his next attack is going to be chain lightning. So what I do is I stand over here instead in order to make sure that we get an extra 4 spears. So you can see it hits me and bounces off to the next 4 spears. And the spear I'm holding right now, I'll throw it at him, and then I can pick up more spears over here and continuously do 3 million damage per spear. So you can see here that I failed the mechanic. I didn't realize that he did 2 AoEs already, and he did his chain lightning, but I wasn't close to any of these normal spears, so the chain lightning just bounces off me and genuine, so we take some extra damage there. However, the boss is already extremely low, so all I have to do is run over and finish him. And there we go, he's dead. So once he's dead, we move on to the next boss. Okay, so this is the next mini boss, or the second mini boss. This guy's really annoying because he shoots explosive arrows onto you, which deal AoE damage and can hurt teammates. What you want to do is you want to go in as an entire team and try to zerg him down as fast as possible, because after about 10 seconds, the other soldiers around him will come to life and the fight gets really messy. So what you want to do is just to burst him down as fast as possible. However, in our case, we have Kogan, which is an assassin. So what assassins can do if they have the damage is you can cheese this boss. You can just go invisible, go behind him, and just stab him until he dies. So you can see over here, Kogan is standing over there cheesing the boss, while, me and Meow over here are just dancing. And we're just going to wait until he dies. So you can only do this if you have an assassin that is relatively well geared, and the boss will not do anything. He'll just stand there and just die. But if you don't have an assassin, then the only way is to zerg him down, just run in and kill him. So as you can see, there we go, we cheesed him, he's dead, and we're moving on. So now this is the last boss. The last boss is Xanos over here in Sanctum. So there is no mechanic in Xanos. It's all about memorizing his attack pattern and knowing what each attack does. So I'm just going to play the video and then let you guys see his attack pattern, and maybe just explain like how I dodge certain attacks and how I avoid taking damage. So you can see that he does this red AoE attack. This will be slam down 1. Once he finishes this slam, what you want to do is you want to run into the place where he just slammed, because it's guaranteed that he won't slam the same spot again. He'll always slam in a plus sign, so make sure to just avoid it. If he slams this way, then he's going to slam that way the next attack. So make sure you don't get hit by that. So this is a bit like punishment. It's going to be an inner explosion, and then an outer explosion, then an inner explosion again. So what you want to do is, the moment you see this red circle charging up, is once this blows up, you want to run in. And then once the outside blows up, you want to run out. What I do is I just strafe in and out, as you can see here. You can see the inner explosion blew up, it knocked Genuine up, but because I walked in the moment it exploded, I don't take damage. And then the moment that finishes, I run on the outside. So you see, the moment the outside explosion blew up, I didn't take any damage again. And then the inside blows up once more and I'm safe. So that's what I do. I stay in the 6 meters or 7 meter area. I stay on the outside, then I go inside, then I come outside again. And then that way I take no damage from his punishment. So other than that, these are just normal attacks. You don't need to worry about them. As range class, you can just hide in a safe distance. You can see he's about to do his slam attack again. He does that, and it's going to be a plus sign. He's doing his inner, outer, inner again. And this time, I didn't make it to the inside in time, so I got hit by the outer explosion. He does this laser beam, which is very easy to dodge. Just don't get hit by that. And that's just regular attacks again. And you can use your stun whenever. Try not to knock down on this boss, because if you do a knockdown, he does a blind, which forces everyone to face the other direction if you don't want to get blinded, which is kind of annoying. So the moment you see him jump into the middle, like what you just saw, and he does this light looking attack, is he's going to create a circle of light inside and darkness outside. You want to stay in the circle of light. You can see here that there's a circle of light now inside, and the outside is dark. So you want to stay within the circle of light. As you can see now, it's really clear that there's a light circle and a dark circle. So you want to stay inside here. So after a couple seconds, he will do a explosion. Right about now, you can see that he just did an explosion. But luckily, we didn't take any damage because Kogan did the party stealth. And then at this moment, his CC bars will be open and these Xanos discs will float around him and will heal him. So the way to stop him from healing is you want to stun him. So over here, you can see we stunned him and the Xanos disc disappears and he stops healing. Right after he finishes healing, he's going to do that charge up attack and do a 5-hit explosion. So just make sure that you use an extended iframe here to avoid all 5 explosions. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When he does these daze circles, it's going to be the inner and then he's going to do another one on the outer. So what I do is I usually just get hit by the inner one and then I hit tab to get back up. And we just continue. So he'll do 2 rotations of it. Again, he's doing the inner daze circles and then he'll do the outer daze circles. Yeah, you can dodge it by doing iframes, or you can SS out and be far enough that the daze circles don't hit you. Right after he finishes 2 of those daze circles, the next thing he's going to do is he's going to shoot arrows at people. He's going to do this spinny attack and shoot arrows. If you have a summoner or an assassin or force master, you want to use the projectile protection, and everyone groups up there so that you don't take any damage. Another thing that what I do with the gunner is I use my Sky Stone. I use Q and Sky Stone so that I can shoot down while dodging all the arrows. So you can see here he's doing his inner, outer, inner again. Inner, outer, inner. And all I have to do is strafe left and right, and that's about it. And now we continue shooting him again. You can see that he's just doing his regular yellow attacks here, so it's perfectly fine. He does his slam down, which is the plus. And again, inner, outer, inner. So again, he jumps into the middle and he's going to do that light circle thing. Make sure everyone's in the light. And we just show here. Once he does that explosion, the next thing you want to do is his CC bars open and you want to stun him again so that his Xanos disc doesn't heal him. While he's healing, by the way, there are these red circles that go counterclockwise the entire time. So you want to make sure that you dodge those. Like what I'm doing right there. So next thing, right after he gets back up, he's gonna use his 5 explosion things. So again, make sure that you have your extended iframe. So over here, I use my X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we continue DPSing again. His daze circles, I just choose to get hit by the inner ones, and then use my tab to get out. And I'm lagging a little bit over here, so you can see that my character is not really attacking very well. And it's really just rinse and repeat from here. So we can see here that he's now down to 2%. Again, same rotation. Once you get his rotation down, he's really easy to fight. And he's dead. There we go. GG. So yeah, that's Sanctum. It's not a very difficult dungeon. It's mainly just learning the mechanics and knowing what to do. Once you know what you're doing, and if your party knows what they're doing, it's very easy to do. It's very straightforward. You don't need to have 900 plus AP for this. You could do it pretty easily with about 800, 850, but you need to make sure that you do all the mechanics and you don't fail the mechanics in order to clear the bosses, as you might not have enough DPS, raw DPS, to clear the dungeon if you don't do the mechanics. And that's about it, really. Anyway, I hope this guide helped, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the here